All right, so student life at Waterloo Engineering. What is there to do? Who is there to see? Let's find out. So who am I? My name is Mariko. I'm currently a fourth year mechanical engineering student, graduating in April. Last year, I was the Engineering Society president. I've been an engineering ambassador. I've been super involved in women in engineering. I've been involved in the school's racial advocacy service. I've helped out with orientation week, and I'm a very passionate mental health advocate because it's super important and it's something we should all be aware of during our time at university. So starting off, first we have the Engineering Society. This is a picture with me and my executive team from my time as president. Anyone can join, anyone can come to any events. Basically, to be a member of the Waterloo Engineering Society, you just have to pay your Engineering Society fee, which is a part of just the fees that you pay when you come to school. It's $15, not that much, and it's a great way to meet a lot of people outside of your program from different years and kind of like build a friendship and a social circle. Great way to meet a lot of people. So what does the Engineering Society do? They do a lot of different things, but one thing in particular is social events. So we host a lot of different things. There's really something for everybody, everything from like semi-formal dances where you can dress up and dance with your friends. We have LAN parties and like video game tournaments. We have coffee houses and talent shows. We have sports tournaments. We've done ultimate frisbee and volleyball. We've done paint nights. Karaoke nights, trivia nights, and most recently we've started lettuce eating contests, but we've also done ramen noodle eating contests. So really there's something for everybody. There's always an opportunity to get out and meet new people. So we also go out and do things in the community often and try and get involved with the broader Waterloo engineering community as well as the Kitchener-Waterloo community as a whole. So one thing we do every year as well is we go to the Toronto Pride Parade. As the Engineering Society, we march in the parade, we bring our mascot. Every year we also go to the Kitchener-Waterloo Santa Claus Parade. We go to a museum in Kitchener and we volunteer with kids and we teach them about engineering. We do blood drives, and then sometimes we go out into the world. We venture out into the world and go skiing, or we go to the beach in the summer, or we do like a campus movie night. So there's definitely ways to break out of engineering as well and meet lots of cool people in the community. And speaking of community, we have a few different community groups on campus. So first off is EngiQueers, that's the LGBTQ plus group within engineering. They're super cool. They have just like a chill time every week. You can go there and relax. You can go and meet other people in the LGBTQ community. They do like queer sex ed. They do a queer professional development night. So there's a lot of cool stuff that they do. It's a great place to find a community. We also have the National Society of Black Engineers, and they do something called Black Study Hall where people can just come and study and relax and meet other Black engineering students. They also have a lot of guest speakers about like what's life like after you graduate, how do you find a full-time job, lots of cool stuff, as well as social events. And then we also have Women in Engineering. They do a lot of cool social events as well. So this term we did like tarot card reading, and we also did like a how to use power tools workshop. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on, especially if you're a part of one of these groups. You can make a lot of friends. There's definitely challenges that come sometimes with being a more minority group in engineering, but it's definitely, there's an opportunity to find a community of support and meet a lot of people. Okay, so other engineering groups, if you want to be more involved in something else in Waterloo Engineering, that is also a possibility. We have Engineers Without Borders who do a lot of things with kind of a social justice lens. So they've done a lot of work with the Indigenous community. Engineering orientation, so that's a great way as an upper year to get involved and help out first years. Also, as a first year, make sure you go to engineering orientation because it's super fun. There's a lot of cool activities and it's a great way to meet new people. Engineering ambassadors help out with giving tours and showing new students around campus. So that's also a super cool group to get involved with. Hack the North is the biggest hackathon, I think, in Canada. And you can help organize that, or you could attend. There's a lot of cool stuff. And then Blueprint is another group that does engineering work with kind of like another social justice lens. They help out a lot of different charities and nonprofits with making websites and stuff like that. Super cool. All right, so what else can I do on campus? You may have a lot of friends in engineering, but what if you want to meet friends that aren't in engineering? Maybe they're in science or they're in math. There's a lot of great ways that you can get involved in meeting people on campus. So for example, if you like sports or athletics, you could play intramurals, you could get a team together, you could sign up as an individual and play sports in a relaxed setting. You could join a varsity sports team. It is a lot of work, but I have a few friends that have done it and they've really enjoyed it and have met a lot of great people. There's also just athletics classes that you can attend. There's things like yoga and things like kickboxing, and a great way to just like get involved, exercise, get some endorphins. And then there's also clubs all across campus to meet all kinds of different people. There's music clubs like a cappella, there's the jazz band, different groups. There's more athletics groups like Muay Thai and Dragon Boat. And then there's a whole bunch of special interest clubs like anime club, there's a cheese club, I think there's a coffee club. Anything that you're into, you can pretty much find a way to meet people through doing that. If you're in first year, most people do stay in residence, so there's also opportunities to get super involved in your residence and meet a bunch of different people through like volunteering on residence or going to events that your dons will hold in residence. Just a good chance to meet people who you're living with. And then always there's volunteer opportunities as well, like in the community, on campus. And if you like giving back or you like being involved, that's a great way to start. And then there's also a whole entrepreneurship community on campus of people that have ideas or want to start ideas or want to start startups. So that's another way you can get involved. All right, so why should you get involved? I listed all the different opportunities you have, but why, right? Because engineering is super busy. Everybody knows that. It's not necessarily an easy program. There's always going to be a lot of work and always a lot of homework. And it is all about prioritization to make time for extracurriculars and student life. But it's important to get involved. This is a quote from one of my friends. It doesn't matter where, sports, jazz bands, cheese club, because it's important to find something that makes you happy beyond your studies. Because there are many, many times where you are going to want to pull your hair out from calculus. But it's also important to have something that you can turn to that'll make you smile, and you'll be able to hang out with your friends and have a good time and de-stress. That's all about balance. Yeah, this is another quote from one of my friends. Find that place where you belong because it'll get you through the rough times and it'll be amazing during the good times. Memories aren't made with physics textbooks. It's true. Physics textbooks help you become a great engineer and get great grades, but memories and what you'll look back on in like 20, 30 years, that's all through the friends that you make and how you get involved. And yeah, most importantly, put yourself out there, because at the end of the day, university is only as fun as you make it. Yeah, there's a lot of beliefs that people have about Waterloo, but just because something's not immediately in front of your face doesn't mean that it's not there. Sometimes you just have to go looking for it, whether that's a community of people, a bunch of new friends, super cool events, just different ways of getting involved. There's always an opportunity for it. And if there's not, you can always make it. You can always start a club, start an event, anything you want, but it's a little bit of effort sometimes, but is 100% worth it. As somebody that has been able to get super involved and meet a lot of people, my university career would not have been the same if I didn't meet all the amazing friends that I did and have all the amazing experiences that I did. So I definitely don't regret it. I don't think you will either. So get out there and meet new people.
My name's Danil, and I'm in 2A Mechanical Engineering, and I'm going to talk to you guys today about the student design teams and my experiences with them over the past year or so. So let's get started. So what is a design team? A design team, by definition, is a student-run team at the University of Waterloo that represents the university at various competitions. And each team participates in different competitions ranging from building rockets, concrete canoes, hybrid vehicles, self-driving vehicles, and many more. Joining a team is usually pretty easy, as most teams work on a drop-in basis. What this means is that you don't need to have any previous experience to join, and there's usually only some safety training that needs to be done before you can start working on a project. There are some teams that require you to sign up and go for an interview before you can join. However, this only applies to very few teams at UW. Each design team will have what's called various sub-teams, and usually you join the one that interests you the most. It doesn't have to be the one that's the most related to your program, but in most design teams, you aren't restricted to just one. If you no longer like the sub-team you joined originally, then you can switch sub-teams pretty easily, which is pretty great. Yeah. I'm going to talk about some of my own experiences now. I joined UWaft when I was in my first term of university, and I joined because I was originally interested in them when I attended March Break Open House a few years ago. UWaft, which stands for the University of Waterloo's Alternative Fuels Team, focuses on converting regular production vehicles that you see on the road every day into hybrid vehicles by incorporating electric vehicle technologies, making these vehicles run cleaner and depend less on gasoline. I was already pretty into cars before I started university, and I figured this team would be pretty cool, especially with the way that the automotive industry is shifting more towards electric vehicles. And fast forward a year and a half, and I'm the team lead of the mechanical sub-team at UWaft. One thing I'd say about design teams is that you get out what you put into it. I was fortunate enough to be in Waterloo my past 2 co-op terms, which allowed me to be very involved with the team. And as I spent more time with the team, I got greater responsibilities, which put me into the leadership position that I'm in today. What's really great about design teams is that you get real hands-on experience and get to work with some really cool technologies. Seen here on this slide are some of my teammates working on swapping the engine of our vehicle. And on the right, you can see we're testing out some radars that were sent to us by Bosch. In addition, you get to work with industry-level software, which really makes you stand out from your classmates. And this helps when you're looking for a co-op, as employers really value students that have already learned the skills or software from design teams, as they have to spend less time training you, leaving you more time to be productive at work. Another one of the most valuable aspects of joining the design team are all the connections you can develop. In UWaft's case, we're sponsored by many big-name companies such as General Motors, MathWorks, and Multimatic. These connections really come in handy when you're looking for a co-op, and they help the team out in many ways. Our vehicle itself was donated to us by General Motors so we can work on it. And the leftmost picture on this slide shows our vehicle at Multimatic's facility in Markham conducting a 4-post test. This test helps us to characterize our suspension. And it's usually a very expensive test, costing anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000, but Multimatic was willing to do it for us free of charge, which is really cool. Moving on. And the work you've done on a project doesn't really feel complete until you've seen it in action. So as you can see here, our vehicle is going ham at Waterloo's regional test track after recently completing the engine swap. And that's a feeling that's so satisfying. Seeing all your hard work come to life is definitely one of the coolest parts of joining a design team, because every bit of work you do is important and is critical to the team's success. You start off small, but as you get more involved, you'll be assigned more complex and harder tasks, but the outcome is always super satisfying. Another great benefit is that it gives you something to do outside of school. Yes, school is very important, but I find that design teams are a very enjoyable and productive way to spend time after school, because it's time spent making connections, developing your technical and interpersonal skills, and making new friends. Moving on to the last slide here. One of the last things I'd like to talk about are the travel opportunities that come with joining a design team. As with UWaft, we go to 2 workshops and 1 competition every year. And last fall, I was fortunate enough to go to fall workshop at the MathWorks headquarters in Natick, Massachusetts. This was by far one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, because we all got to travel as a team together, fully sponsored, so I didn't have to pay a cent, and we got trained on how to use various softwares, how to use and interface with certain hardware, and how to do things the right way when it comes to building a vehicle. Plus, all these sessions were hosted by real engineers from big companies such as Bosch, General Motors, and Siemens. It was a really cool experience to travel with the team and develop new connections with all the sponsors that were there. It really gave me a scope on how big all of this is and how much these companies value students who are actively involved in the design team. To conclude, I believe design teams are a great way to be involved with your university, as they give you all sorts of amazing opportunities to develop your skills, gain new connections, and get real hands-on experience with technology that is being used in today's fast-paced industry. If you're interested, then definitely stop by the Cedra Student Design Center when you have a chance to learn more about the various design teams at UW. Thank you.